All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right, this is Asham Gar. I got a couple videos for y'all, essentially just on what's going on with America and Afghanistan. Right, I want y'all to tune into the videos. Then I'm gonna go ahead and explain what's going on if brothers don't know already. Then we're gonna get into the scriptures. So just tune in. Very entertaining.
That drum beat of here. What I was going to say was normally you would hear that drumbeat of helicopters and it would be the Americans going somewhere, doing something, showing a sign of their dominance of the skies essentially. Now it's clearly a sign of weakness because they are simply trying to get out as fast as they can. But it's a bizarre position that President Joe Biden has put himself in here. Strategically courageous, you might say, to realize that this had to come to an end.
Please tell me this isn't one of the most embarrassing, humiliating things that you've ever witnessed that America's a part of.
Yeah, and that's a huge intelligence failure if they didn't know this was going to. The assertion today that he knows more about Afghanistan than anyone, that he has been in this in one way or another for so long, then how come he didn't know this? And then he talked about how, the Taliban doesn't have an air force, but the security forces that we train, they have an air force. Like, well, guess who has an air force now? The Taliban does.
All right, so essentially what's going on, right, is the Taliban, right, which America deems as like this terrorist organization, right? When the American government pulled its troops out of Afghanistan, the Taliban actually assumed control over Afghanistan. And now all the different types of military functions that America had in Afghanistan are now in control, under the control of the Taliban, right? So now America has always been looked at as what? The big bully on the street, right? But now what you can see now is the fact that America is now that big bully on the street that nobody's afraid of anymore, right? And now essentially with this type of thing going on, right? Now you'll see less and less people actually being afraid of America. You actually starting to see it come to pass where this is just the one of the many beginnings of other countries and other factions and organizations, right, in other countries coming up against America to further bring about prophecy of bringing this place down, right? So, but this is the very start of it, and you actually starting to see, right, these other countries, these other military groups and militias and different things like that, they don't give a damn about America no more, right? And then these cats, right, like looked at as patriots for America, they're Saudi, right? The Lord is taking away that great pride that America used to have, right? That pompous attitude that, America, yeah, we just run everything. You know what I mean? No, he's taking that away, right? So let's keep going in the
Guess
video.
who has all these weapons and perhaps all this intelligence? The Taliban does. And for people,
right? So you see that she's sick, man, right? She's sick that now America is looked at as the laughing stock to the whole world, man, right? And you seen the other Edomite talking about this is an embarrassing situation. Look at it. Let's see.
Tell me this isn't one of the most embarrassing, humiliating things that you've ever witnessed that America's a part of.
Yeah, and that's a huge intelligence failure if they didn't know this was going to.
He just wanted this to other people down. No, they're just as disgusted as everybody else about this. We're disgusted how this turned out, but it's not because.
And then also, right, for this is a sidebar. This cat right here, I don't know, what his sexual orientation is, right? But this guy is just a joke, man. This is just an example of how America is just such a joke. Look at the cup, the teacup that he has in front of us. You kind of can't see it, but if you look closely, he has a teacup in front of him of a unicorn with a rainbow on it. He's obviously some type of sodomite, man, right? And this just shows, right, the strength of America, man. America's finished, man. Let's keep going.
We want to leave. That's bad. We just wanted this to other people down. No, they're just as disgusted as everybody else about this. We're disgusted how this turned out, but it's not because we want to leave. That's bad.
Look at him, man. He's sick.
to
Let's keep going.
run his exit from
Last one.
Afghanistan. I mean, it's so embarrassing to this nation. It's so embarrassing to the people that fought and died there. And the way he left, and to pretend as if it is not all his fault. If you wanted to leave, get in line. A lot of people did. Anyone who thinks that this is the way we should have left is so blindly political, you're not even paying attention.
The president said the Taliban takeover is highly unlikely. He promised us this would not happen just about 5 weeks ago. Listen.
The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. The likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
Well, he was wrong about all that stuff.
Not even close to right.
Cut. And you see that his own folks even said that he was wrong. This was 5 weeks prior to the situation. That lunatic man, Joe Biden, he sat here and said, no, that's not possible. He's not a prophet, man. He don't know what's going on. The Heavenly Father's the one running the show, man. Right? And what the Heavenly Father wants to happen is going to happen. Even if Joe Biden says something different, man. You see that? He said, no, man, the Taliban is not going to assume entire control of the country. The Heavenly Father is turning America, Babylon, into a laughing stock. I've never heard in my 26 years of life, I've never heard, right, America talking about we're embarrassed and this is a shame to the nation. Da, 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 da. I've never heard these Americans talk like that. These Edomites talk like that. Now it's coming. It's coming, right? Full throttle, man. The Heavenly Father is bringing Esau down, man. Right? Let me just, matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to this. Well, let me just read it real quick so you understand what's going on. It says the presidential palace in Kabul has now been handed over to the Taliban after being vacated just hours earlier by officials of the U.S.-backed government. Slovakia. The Taliban claimed the palace with 3 Afghan government officials present, according to Al Jazeera, which carry events live. One Taliban security official said there was a peaceful handover of government facilities ongoing across the country. Right? It says the U.S. withdrawal from the country opened a clear path for the Taliban to take on and defeat Afghan security forces. These security forces were backed by America, right? So if you messing with them, you messing with America. But they didn't care, and they still took it over. It says many major cities fell with little to no resistance, including the key city, Jalalabad, right, which the Taliban seized on Sunday. Biden officials admit miscalculation. The rapid fall of Afghanistan's national forces and government has come as a shock to President Joe Biden and his members of his administration, right? So, yeah, man, these guys are finished, man. So let's keep going. Let me hop right into the scriptures, right? It says, Baruch chapter 4, verse 30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem. So the Heavenly Father's talking to us, man. It says, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee, right? So the Heavenly Father, he's comforting us, man, by bringing down his kingdom, man, right? By bringing vengeance back upon our enemies, man, right? For what they did to us, his chosen, right? Verse 31, miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. Did not Esau and the other nations, did they not rejoice at our fall, right? But now they're miserable, right? Look at them. We're disgusted, right? You heard the Edomite, right? This is the most embarrassing, circumstances America's ever faced, right? They're just sick. They don't know what to do, right? They're in the midst of this plan demic, right? They got all that all that stuff going on, and then while they got all that stuff going on, you see, man, they troubled on every side, right? It says, verse 32, miserable are the cities which thy children serve, right? Miserable are these cities, man, right? And the Edomites living in there. It says, miserable is she that received thy sons, right? For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. America is becoming desolate, man. It's becoming the laughing stock of the whole entire earth, man. of all the nations, right? So now America is grieved for her own desolation, right? Because she was laughing at us. Okay, you laughing? You laughing? Okay, now I'm gonna whip your ass, and you gonna get it worse, right? That's what the Heavenly Father did, right? You laughing at me punishing my kid, and you benefiting off of him. You know what? Now I'm gonna jack your ass up, and that's exactly what the Heavenly Father is doing. It says verse 35. Verse 34, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude. Is not the Heavenly Father doing this, man? He's taking away the rejoicing of America's great multitude, right? There's no more rejoicing in this place, man. There's no more Edomites really being proud of this place. You hear Edomites, talking about, man, this place is through. Man, this place is finished, yeah, And we'll go out the camp and we'll say, yeah, the Heavenly Father, he's about to destroy this place, right? And we're gonna take you guys as slaves, and we'll say different things like that. And the Edomites say, yeah, you know what, you're right. This place is finished, right? They're just hopeless, man. They faithless. They don't got that prideful, pompous spirit, like 10, 20 years ago, man, right? They understand that this place is falling. And of course, you got some idiot Edomites, right, that are just so puffed up with pride that, even with all that's going on, they still puffed up and think that this is the greatest place ever, right? The Heavenly Father just reserving them for later on, right? Because what fun is it if he all defeated all the way? You gotta leave some of that pride in here, right? It says verse 35. It says, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting one to endure, and she shall be inhabited for of devils for a great time. So that's the point, man. Fire is about to come on this place, man. And you can definitely see it if you have the spiritual eyes to see, right? Because the Heavenly Father, He is he is bringing this place to a desolation, man. And Esau knows that, right? He can't go beyond, right, the number of the days that the Heavenly Father has set for him, right? So let me so like I grabbed the wrong John. Job chapter 14, right, in verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, and the number of his months are with thee, right? Thou has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So that's the point, right? The Heavenly Father done set up a particular time period for him that he's going to rule, right? And then at the end of that, he's going to fall. Now we're in that particular point in time, right? Because the Heavenly Father has given us wisdom to see, right? And judge the times diligently in itself with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that he has given us. So we're able to see what? Esau's right at the end of his kingdom, man, because he's being brought low. He's we're about to be in that time where we're gonna look at Esau and say, is this the man that did his weaken the nations? Is this the man? You right? Is this the nigga that was running that was putting sanctions on everybody, walking around all puffed up and proud? This is him, right? And you can see how that's coming to fruition, right? No matter what Esau does, there's nothing that he can do to counteract the Heavenly Father's plans. Why is that? Let's read it. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart, right? So the king's mind, right, is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, right? So he's literally controlling the leaders of this government, the Congress, right? The Joe Bidens, the Trumps, right? The Obamas, all he was strategically maneuvering their minds in such a way to bring about the desolation of America, man. Right? And you see it. This place is being brought low. It's a laughing stock, right? All praises to the Heavenly Father. And I pray that this particular situation speedily incites other countries, right, to go ahead and stand up, right, and to look at America as the same way, man. What, as a laughing stock, right? So let's keep going. Let me get Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So the Lord is rendering unto Babylon, aka America, right? It's recompense for what they did to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, which are what? The Israelites, right? So the Heavenly Father is giving America is just desserts for everything that He did to our forefathers, man, right? So this is why this place has to go down. Right? Verse 7 it says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Right? This place was the pinnacle of society, man. Like, come here, this is the where streets are, made with gold, right? This is where you come to get a piece of the American dream and live like a king, right? Every other nation, was buying into it, right? Taking on its philosophies and different holidays and different ways of thinking and its cultures, right? It was taking it on, right? And now it made all the other nations mad. Now the point now is that these other nations are sick and tired, right? Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. Right? So America is trying to take balm for the pain that she's enduring, right? With all the different stimulus packages and you know, you know, Joe Biden coming up with all these different things to try to stimulate the economy, right? None of these things will heal America, man. And you see, even if the infrastructure was healed, right, America's reputation is getting damaged. America is just finished on all sides, man, right? So this place cannot last much longer. And through us having spiritual eyes, we can definitely and emphatically see this, man. America is at the very end. And the Heavenly Father is doing this. Not me, right? Not the brothers, right? Well, in a way, he is using us to actually bring it into this place by preaching that the word of the Heavenly Father, by pushing out that vibration. But the Heavenly Father, He gets all the glory. He's the one bringing this place down. You know what I mean? Not us, right? So essentially, man, it's nothing that Esau can do, right? Verse 9, it says, We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. This is essentially what's about to happen. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So the Lord sees, right, all the sins and iniquities that America has done in the earth, right? And it's going to get its just desserts for it, man. Through the Heavenly Father, man, sending Yahweh Shai and the angels, right? Through those so-called UFOs, which are really IFOs, right? Because we know what they are, the chariots of the Heavenly Father, man. It's going to come and, subdue the whole earth, man. So, essentially, man, that's the topic of the lesson, right? America's mirth is gone, man. America is being brought desolate. America is being brought low, as being the laughing stock of the whole world, right? The whole inhabiting earth. And we see that we ain't got too much more time, man. Right? So for you, Akim and Akwakim, I hope that you were edified, exhorted, and comforted. And with that, I want to say Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Barakathum, Shalom.